7 weeks later it becomes 25 kilograms in weight. And how much of an increase in weight has the dog experienced? So initial amount affected by a percentage change equals some kind of new amount. So we can say the starting amount was 20, the ending amount was 25. We're trying to find a percentage change, percentage increase. So initial amount 20, substitute 20 in place of I. Percentage change we don't know, 20p. That means 20 times p is equal to the new amount, 25 kilograms. So the percentage is 25. We get rid of this multiplying by 20 by dividing by 20. Alternatively, isolating p in NIP would be p is equal to new amount over initial amount. Plugging that into a calculator gives you 1.25. And you interpret that as being, if you don't kind of need to go through this step, but by multiplying by 100, it's 125%. That represents a change of 25% from 100%. So that's a 25% increase in the dog's weight. Needless to say, this could be share prices, price of cars or houses, or any kind of examples. Just getting it clear, which is an initial amount, which is a new amount, and interpreting simple decimals. So the third type of question would be where we're trying to find out how much the price of something was originally. Let's say you bought a house, and let's say the house appreciated by 17%, and you're able to sell the house for $210,000, say. Initial amount affected by a percentage change becomes a new amount, and substituting the numbers into that formula. So the initial amount is what we're looking for, we don't know. So the price of the house increased by 17%, so times 1.17 gives you the sale price of the house, 210,000. I don't want to get you into bad habits, but this is a bad habit in my opinion. We're trying to find I, so we cover up the I, it's n over p. The better way to think of this is multiplying by 1.17. The inverse of that is dividing by 1.17. So 210 divided by 1.17 equals, when you plug it into a calculator, 179. So the initial price of the house, 179,000. And I guess the last bit of percentages would be compound percentages. You have to have some sort of understanding of how powers work, indices. To give you a formula, an initial amount is affected by a percentage over, let's say, a certain number of time periods. That becomes a new amount, or a resulting amount, or a kind of a result. T would mean, say for example, you invested $70,000 for 6 years at 5% interest, say. So how much would your 70,000 be worth at the end of 6 years? Increasing by 5% is you times by 1.05, and then that would be how much you'd have at the end of the first year. At the end of the second year, you'd increase that amount by 1.05, and then that gets compounded again, and so it goes on for 6 years. You have 5% increase every year for 6 years. The way you represent that as in maths, a number multiplied by itself is by a power. So the initial amount, 70,000, increased by 5% for 6 years to the power 6. Most kind of most calculators have a power button on it. Gives you some kind of new amount there, and just plugging the numbers into a calculator gives you 93.8. So new amount is 93.8 thousand. There is one more slightly trickier type of problem where you're trying to work out how many years a particular amount has to be compounded by, but to do that we need to look at logarithms, and I think that's a little bit beyond the scope of your understanding at the moment, so we'll do that another time. And there you go. This has been one take. No rehearsals, just straight through. So it's actually in my head to be able to do this. I don't know how engaging it's been. It probably is, since it's personalised to you. So I'll come around this week. Cheers. Bye.